Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome to our courseware, and this is the introduction to the web coding and development course that is being brought to you under partnership with the MOOBS, Makerere University Business School, Uganda Communications Commission, and the government of Uganda, under providing capacity development for secondary schools and primary schools of Uganda. In this course, we are going to be taking a look how to build websites and web pages from scratch and how we can host them and run them onto web servers, and how we can use technology to ease our day-to-day business and functionalities in our endeavors in our business. So in the course is web coding and development, and here is the outline of the things we are going to cover within this course. In Module 1, we are going to understand the dynamics of the web coding and development, how the flow works. Here we're going to take a look at wireframings, drawing a sketch map for the website, the features you will need to achieve a certain task, and how you can go about it. In the next module, we are going to learn how to set up our web development server and how to put them up and running for testing. In the next module, we are going to learn how to set up a web host. That is a web host that is online and can be accessed anytime, anywhere, as it will be hosted online on the internet. In the next week, we are going to start with the hands-on approach onto the front-end development, part 1. Here we are going to be using HTML and CSS. In that same week, we are going to learn how to structure web pages using HTML and how we can build backbones of websites. Module 2, we are going to learn how to style these web pages using CSS and how we can beautify them and make them look attractive. 3, we are going to learn how we can size and position page elements, like the way you are seeing that flag in the top corner, how we can achieve some of such functionality using positioning and style sheets. Module 4, we are going to learn how to create page layouts, how we can this page should look like this on the top bar, how should the menu look like, where should this element be and this element be. In week 3, we are going to tackle the front-end development part 2, whereby we are going to start using JavaScript, which is a scripting language for the browser, and how it works. We are going to go into detail to that. Then here we are going to start with an overview of JavaScript, how it evolved, the developer, how it works, understanding of JavaScript variables, and how we can use them, and how we declare them, and how we can access them within a program. Module 3, we are going to see how we can build expressions. Module 4, we are going to learn how to control the flow of JavaScript and the program execution within JavaScript. We are going to start now going deep into functions, how we can use functions to control the flow of the program, and how we can do function calls whenever we need them. 6, we are going to learn how to work with objects and how we can use these objects to achieve our main objective. We are going to learn how to work with arrays. You are going to break down all this so that we get to the same page working with arrays. We are going to learn how the manipulation of strings, dates, and numbers works in the JavaScript. Now we are going to the week 4, coding the front-end parts using jQuery, or what most people can say it's like Ajax jQuery. In that same week, we are going to develop pages using jQuery, and how we can do the DOM manipulation, how we can access the DOM elements, things of the sort. So sit tight, guys. Module 2, livening up web pages with animations. and events, so that you can understand how you can call actions. Let's say something happened, the user should know. Are you trying to delete something? Then it should tell you. Getting to know the jQuery user interface UI. You can see even the picture. We are going to understand more how we can develop those elements. Now we are going to the most core one, which will be the language of the server, coding the back end, PHP and MySQL. This PHP will help us in doing processing of pages and input and output and giving us query based on the database. Now we are going to write a core database driven system in week 5. We are going to run PHP coding basics here on variables, things like that, how we can name them, how PHP works. We are going to learn how we can execute database queries and how we can insert, manipulate, get that data from the database and inserting and saving for future reference. We are going to see how we can use PHP to access the database and how we can retrieve that data to and from. And then in week 6, we are going to do the dynamic web development. This is where we are going to learn how we can control form events. We build forms so that the system is generating data. It's not just a static system, but a dynamic system. We are going to go in detail into that. Then within this module, we are going to learn how to use JavaScript object notation, that is JSON, and Ajax, so that we can make server-side calls, and PHP answers us and processes our requests to give us what we need. That will be PHP module 1. And we are going to, in the module 2, we are going to build and process web forms. This is where we are going to enter your username and passwords. You are used to those things, log in and log out, register your name, what is your email, change passwords, things like that. So guys, this is an interesting course. Please sign up. Module 3, validating form data. That means we are going to validate what the users, we are going to learn how those dynamics, how we can know this is what we really expected from the user. And for example, say someone is registering with an email, sure, it should be an email, not any random letters. It should be a valid email address. If it's a phone number, it should be a phone number. We are going to run that in module 3. Then in week 7, we are going to dive into doing web apps. These are the apps that run onto web and can be accessed differently using different device types. We are going to learn how we can plan and build a mobile app from scratch. We are going to look at wireframing. We are going to look at designing user interfaces. Then in the module, we are going to see how we can lay the foundation of the app according to what we need. Maybe let's say we need login, we need logout, we need transaction, so that we know what do we really need to achieve this, laying the foundation. Module 3, managing data. In this section, we're going to learn more on data management. Which kind of data do we need from certain users? Which kind of data should this user access? Now that will bring us into also managing app users and access rights, so that we know who is who to access what. For example, if a normal user should only just see his profile, and the administrator should actually delete that user. That will come in that module 4 of managing app users. So we dive into the coding side of it, the coding of mobile web apps. These are apps that will be basically, they run onto the web, they run on mobile devices of all types, and they run on actually all different screen sizes because they will be responsive. In that module, we are going to explore mobile first web development and different technologies we can use to develop web apps, say Vue.js, AngularJS, Most of those things we are going to look at them within this section. Then we dive into the deep side of it of coding, and we see how we can actually build these products into Play. Thank you.